I look around in space that I haven't concentrated in for more than moments for a couple of years now. They've done in the schoolroom, right?
Yep.
And this kid's schoolwork and my efforts here is distinct enough yet on opposite ends, reaching each other enough that I had to separate it a little bit. But being here, I really get this sense of I've stayed digging into the same material with commendable consistency for a couple years now. What that does is it gives me a lot of flexibility in my discussion too. Broken science. What an amazing thing that there's so much effort in meta science and concerns for replication crisis and lots and lots of clucking and flapping involvement and nowhere a strong definition of science. They don't have to be right or wrong. There's no such thing for people that make shitty definitions, but they're useful or not, consistent or not, and give you leverage towards understanding. It's all baked into their utility. We can look at a line and call it any fucking thing we want, right?
Yeah. I can remember you talking about that with Mulvaney, 10 years ago. What is science?
It was something that the old man published for us. I mean, CrossFit weighed in on this. We had a weekend event over it in 2009.
Was that in San Francisco?
No, it was in Austin. At the university. It's tricky. And there's also a certain amount of enjoyment to attempt to bring to the lay public something that people much smarter than I am couldn't make happen. I may be more like Taylor Swift than I realize.
You're exactly like her. It's just whether the public's going to realize that. Kristen Kettler, Happy New Year to two of my favorite dudes. Excited to see what Netflix has in store for 2025. Hopefully my gym gets into the next batch of affiliates.
Yeah, we're gonna turn that spigot. Is my sense of it. It would be my hope. There's nothing, the exclusivity comes in the quality of understanding that has you recognizing that what you're doing in the gym are actually the independent variables that control dependent variables known as blood pressure, triglycerides, A1C. From there it gets boring, and why people are dying, etc. There's an elegance in that that's fucking deeply profound. And the ones that are engaged in that practice have no allies institutionally. Crazy thing, but it's true. Maybe outside of Netflix.
Because
what Netflix is, and I'm there because that's a profound reality that's ignored institutionally.
Yes, why don't you think they have any allies? Sorry? Why don't you think they have any allies there?
I'm not sure how you make money off of it.
Right.
You're not gonna get a sponsor. I mean, you get the guys that make cookies without sugar, but
You're definitely not going to get a sponsor after making fun of the games athletes a few weeks ago. That's what the internet is saying.
me, oh.
That's you're desperate for sponsorship.
That's a toxic group of dim-witted folks. To the extent that they've organized. Of all the things to organize.
They're not organized.
I'd love to see it.
They're organized like the riot is in Ferguson.
They're 3 generations away from being able to have a fucking intelligent conversation. Organized. I've sat at the athletes' tables. The accounting table's more interesting.
Also, they're very young people.
It's true.
Yeah. Limited time on planet Earth for fucking intelligent acquisition of intelligence. Sevi, can I jump on here? Sure. And ask Greg? Sure. I was wondering if you ever read a book by Jerry Mueller, Tyranny of Metrics. Greg seems like a data and metrics guy. I was wondering if he has ever thought of.
I'll look that up. I don't think it sounds familiar somewhere, but it's not ringing a bell.
It's a funny title.
Yeah, we have as a culture a problem with conditional probabilities. I've been on here talking about this before, but I'm here again. And that is the probability of it being cloudy given that it's raining versus the probability of it raining given that it's cloudy. And that's an example of consistency. The problem is not inherent to clouds and raining, but it's that the probability of A given B is likely to be a different thing than the probability of B given A. And people, citizens of the world need to sensitize themselves to that distinction and carry it with them until they can come to make sense of things like the prosecutor's fallacy and binary diagnostics, like a sensitivity and specificity of the test given its positive predictive value. Come to a layman's comfort with Bayes and Bayesian concepts and Bayes' theorem. It requires the simplest twist of mathematics ever. You have to multiply both sides of the equation by its denominator to make the denominator go away. That's what you have to be able to do. And that's something that anyone can be taught to do, but the underpinning logic needs to sit and plant itself in your brain and make you sensitive to this distinction. And then at some point you end up immune to p-values. You're like, wait a minute, that can't be done. That's not logical. And maybe not until. And so my belief that this can be taught with fourth graders, it might actually require an insertion in a fourth grade mind, whether you're 65 or 5, and percolate for a number of years. So that might be the best thing able to offer on a weekend. But boy, people are gonna come away knowing that the probability of A given B is not the probability of B given A. This is something that prosecutors and judges and lawyers and smart people have fucked up by confusing the probability of the evidence, which is low given innocence, and flipping around and saying the probability of the innocence is low.
Jake really likes this example, the nuke. If you got killed by a nuke, you're Japanese, but if you're Japanese, you won't necessarily get killed by a nuke.
It's true. Yeah. Put in the if-then sense. The cool thing about the conditional probability is that we have the tools available to draw a picture of it. Not only is the rain and the cloud thing easy to see, but to see visually, geometrically, in probability space what that looks like is like, it's fucking huge. It's like, got it. And then we can bring to bear on that formal fallacy, we can bring to bear some real world examples incrementally, like doing pull-ups, right? Using rubber bands at first here. But we can then expose you to things like, okay, I'll find it. Oh, shit, they just flipped that around. They went from the probability of his guilt, given the evidence, and his evidence, given that he's guilty, and flipped it around. How do you get to do that? The people in the world of philosophy and thinking that are willing to do deep dives on utter bullshit and explain it so that there's no longer a chance for someone thinking to absorb that. We owe them a great deal. The powerful debunkers. David Stove is one. From what I can tell, he gave a lifetime to it. It makes him, for me, one of the greatest philosophers of the English language. Rank him above Hume, because he gave his life to undoing the legacy that Hume left.
Wading into other other people's bullshit or miscalculations and unfucking them?
Stove says that the problem with unfucking someone's thinking, my words, not his, but relating to our New Year's Day audience here. The problem lies in that their thinking goes astray from a premise that they have no idea is even a premise. And so there's something that causes them to start with their starting points and reason to this end point that's a nightmare, and you have to work back and figure out where it is. And he does that for Popper, Kuhn, Lakatos, and Firearm. Does a handsome job of it, and along the way helps David Hume.
Let me take you back here really quick. So this is Greg. Seems like data and metrics guy, and was wondering if he had ever thought of the implications of totalitarian measures through data and metrics. Implications of totalitarian measures through data and metrics. Do you mean like manipulation?
I don't have the AI fears that some people have, but not in the sense they do. I'm afraid for stupid people. And I understand how the smart folks are gonna make this work for them. It's more revenge of the nerds.
That's good.
What?
Yeah, but it's more revenge of the nerds.
It is. The AI people, I understand exactly what they're doing and how they do it and why, and it's exactly the James that I've been talking about, and James Bobot is the machine learning. God took him seriously. There's a philosophical perversion that's come out of Western universities. It has us all thinking odd about a number of things, and science is one of those things. And the motivations for those that got it wrong are clear and easy to follow once you can show them. It's deductivism. And there's a toxic allure to certainty. It's crazy. It makes philosophers drunk. And Popper and those that followed him in academia tried to ground science deductively, that is, in pursuit of certainty. And it caused, for 100 years, the development and pursuit of the management of uncertainty. It held it at an arm's length. But it didn't stop. It just kind of went unnoticed. And now it's kind of up your ass in AI. And there's, for a lot of people, code can be written that responds to the real world in a better fashion than they do. And so the best of the requirements of the potential of the human mind sits far outside of anything AI. It's a fun thing to tease, it's a fun thing to play with AI. But it can get some shit just perfectly, wonderfully, completely wrong. It's interesting. It's fun to play with. I'm just talking about the large language end of it, not the repairing of fuzzy photographs or re-examining data from a supernova that happened in 1987 and finding orders of magnitude more data concerning the actual supernova that had never been imagined to be sitting in the fucking data. Imagine those kinds of methods.
Yeah.
Hey, we know those people, which is really cool. You know, I've found myself driven in a direction philosophically that ends with scientists who are really fucking doing shit, which is really comforting, because where we come from, the Kuhn, Popper, Feyerabend, Lecato school, those are philosophers, not scientists, and they went that crazy falsificationist route. I know there's too much here, I should stop and explain, but I'm not gonna. But it's an amazing story. It really is quite a drama. If I could do anything with this project, it would maybe be to sharpen and harden and enlarge the resistance to the next attempt at herd management as public health, as medicine, as science. So many of my intellectual brethren, if I could be so bold as to put myself, I mean, I brought us all together and continue to work at that. And so I feel somewhat equal, but we all saw through the COVID response and the likely origins simultaneously with no discussion. And what we held was a capacity for truth and logic against the party line on other issues that brought us together in the first place. And so of course this was easy to see, and yet for slightly different factual, like, you know, I listened to them and I'm like, yeah, okay, of course, that makes sense to me, I didn't know that. And we all saw something different. That's the kind of the nature of a heroin, right? Big fucking lie. Almost everyone involved knows that wasn't the story, right?
Right.
From different angles.
Right.
I saw him shoot up in my fucking living room. What are you talking about? Yeah, well, that's the night he crashed my car. You know? I had to go pick up his girlfriend. Like everyone had some engagement. And this was like that.
This is a hard turn. There's this documentary on YouTube right now made by a guy named Josh Peters, who is, I think, is a complete douchebag. He's just a United Kingdom, just a woke cuck. But anyway, he made this documentary about this girl, Lily Phillips. I don't know if that's her name.
Oh, that's the chick that did all the doings and then cried about it.
Yeah. And do you know what? Someone asked me if I watched the documentary. I watched the beginning and the end. I watched like 5 minutes in the beginning and the last 10 minutes, and it was crazy. She was crying. When he said, "Why are you crying?" I was expecting like some crazy, like emotional response or something, but she said that she was upset because she only gave 5 minutes to guys, and some guys were guilt tripping her because they didn't have time to finish. So she felt bad that they didn't get to finish. It was bizarre. It was vile. Did you watch any of it?
No, what makes it vile?
He walked like they don't show any sex, right? It's on YouTube. It's completely, manipulated in visuals. But he walks in the room and the floor is just covered in used condoms, and he starts to gag because of the smell. They start talking about the smell in them. And then you see she's crying, and it was just like, I don't know. I felt horrible for everyone involved. I went from like, oh, this is going to be interesting, to, oh God, humanity is taking a bad turn.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is going to be cool to see Evel Knievel jump over the Grand Canyon, and then by the end you're like, oh, fuck you.
I think we're going to see someday there's a thing you pay to not see. Instead of pay-per-view.
Hey, I'm on this text thread. Someone sent a dick pic the other day, and another guy, I'm like, hey, are you gonna leave the thread? I know you're not into dick pics. And he said no, he has a filter on his phone, even in text. I didn't even know this existed, where you can have Apple like censorship for you that comes into your iMessage.
There's a point before it gets to that you realize you need to throw your iPhone into the Monterey Bay about dead center.
But before what? Before you start using their AI
You
sensoring?
need help blocking and stopping and
Yeah.
monitoring and I don't think that a 2.5 by 5.5 inch piece of technology should be your portal to the real world. I think there's things to see with your eyes and to smell and look at and do. And within that context, like look for a book. I don't know. It's weird. You know, imagine being locked in a cell with a fucking 3 by 5 portal you got your face plastered into.
For all your waking hours. For all your waking hours.
Was it like it wasn't a better world, was it, when the information was cloistered, you have to get on your bike, go down to the library and pull some kind of goddamn Dewey Decimal thing off yourself?
No. My favorite part about technology now and the way things are going is how fast people can redeem themselves now. J-Bob Car is the best one. Like if what happened to him, if his canceling would have happened in like 1920, like he would have died in Shack, like in the middle of nowhere. And yet his fucking story went full cycle because of information and technology and media that now he's headed NIH.
Yeah, but I think he was unnoticed all along by the law.
Well, let me put it this way: if what happened to Nixon happened today, in 5 years he'd be a fucking hero. Do you know what I mean? It's like now they could so he was involved in some sort of break-in at some fucking hotel. Well, now within 6 months, the entire internet will figure out that hey, that guy Woodward was a fucking Navy fucking spy 1 week, and the next week he was top reporter at the fucking Washington Post. You know what I mean? And they would have talked about how Nixon, made the biggest national park ever. I mean, it just you can't hold someone down with bullshit as easy as you can, and I just love that. I love where we're at with the fact that you don't have to go down to the library like you're saying and pull a microfiche 50
Well, is it increasingly this? We hear him say, just grab him by the pussy.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah.
And they convict him and, split hairs was a rape or sexual harassment. He forced his way into the dressing room to help his China dress him. I don't know what think what you want.
Right.
And I don't know that any judgment in the media says he's a Nazi and right? At the end of democracy, chirp away, fucking say it. Who are the authorities? It ain't CNN. So there's a certain degree of freeness that's kind of cool. I mean, how many things were characterized as a vast right-wing conspiracy or some kind of fruit of Russian intelligence that not just the left being criminals.
That was her name Eugene Carroll, that Eugene Carroll story? The girl he banged in the dressing room, Trump banged in the dressing room?
Yeah.
So that story about a year ago, I was looking into that story, and I watched this whole thing where she tells the entire story of what happened, and it has the date that she first, and I looked up the date she first reported it, and I used all liberal sources, you know what I mean, CNN, all that, and then I heard that there was an LA Law episode that was her exact story that was like 6 years prior to that or something. So I went from my little 3.5 inch, this thing, and I researched the whole thing, and I went to that LA Law episode, and it was an identical the story that she said about Trump was in an LA Law episode 6 years prior to her saying it about Trump. It's crazy, right? And I just think it's cool that you can do that. You don't even have to believe them, you can just go fact check it. Be like, okay, I'm gonna rent that.
So in the LA Law episode, did Trump bust into the restaurant, into the
Yeah. It was the whole dressing room. It was exactly what she said. They went to a fucking department store to try on clothes together. He snuck into the fucking, and it was like the LA Law officer was like debating whether it was like rape or not because she took him into but it was crazy because it wasn't even her store. Oh, E. Jean Carroll, yeah.
Did she take him into the dressing room in her store?
The way I remember it is like he said, I think he claims he never even took her shopping, but she claims that he offered to take her shopping and they went shopping and they were in a department store and he came into the dressing room while she was trying clothes on and pushed her up against the wall and put the tip in her. And now she talks to rocks. Paints rocks in her backyard and talks to them.
Does she?
Yeah. There's a whole thing. Yeah, she's wild.
I get that. If Trump had raped me in a dressing room, I'd paint rocks in the backyard and talk to him too.
I hope it's not true. Pat Lang, he didn't rape her, he just grabbed her by the pussy. No biggie, locker room talk. I think he's being facetious. Yeah, she's Looney Tunes for sure. She's crazy. They shouldn't let her on TV anymore. She's not helping her cause.
If I knew for a fact it happened, I believe that woman on 60 Minutes that spoke about Bill Clinton raping her.
Oh, who was that?
Forget her name.
Not Linda Tripp.
But I believed it. And I called up my buddy who was a pretty good friend, who worked in the DA's office. And I asked him if he saw it. He said, as a matter of fact, we put it to the vote in the DA's office, forget statute of limitations and the fame associated. If that were prosecutable, do we have an indictable offense? And they were 11-0, yeah. And then I asked him, well, how the fuck can you vote for him? And you know what he did? He hung up on me.
Wow, like, hey, I'm not talking about that.
We never spoke again. He knew the whole family. Knew him well.
Wow, Paula Jones, is that her? Juanita Broderick?
Yes.
Ken Starr began further investigate the issue and mentioned it only in a footnote in his final report. She recanted the statement.
What was the statement?
Broderick filed an affidavit with Paula Jones' lawyer stating there were unfounded rumors and stories circulating that Mr. Clinton had made unwelcome sexual advances toward me in the late 70s. These allegations are untrue. An American former nursing home administrator alleged that she was raped by U.S. President Bill Clinton on April 25th, 1978 when he was Attorney General of Arkansas. Clinton declined to comment on the issue. It's interesting, they don't use a picture of her. Oh shit, she's 82 now.
Yeah, I don't think I'm remembering that name in a different context.
Okay.
She was a campaign worker, I think, on a governor's campaign. Is that right? And she'd said something at the time, reported it initially.
And she gives pretty detailed, he said he bit her on the lip.
Yeah, bottom lip?
Yeah. better get some ice on that. I don't see any bony.
Yeah, look, I put in woman claimed rape by Clinton on 60 Minutes. I get a very,
Oh, dude, was she on 60 Minutes too?
I believe so. I believe that's what I saw. She says Hillary tried to silence her.
Oh yeah, you can't. I mean, that's a good way. That's one of the.
I am a Clinton supporter in the DA's office. What did you think of her testimony? Because what do I know, right? And we were 11 zip indictment. And tell him, then how the fuck do you vote for him? Click.
Yeah.
Right, so I get that.
Not a famous attorney. Do I know who it is? You told me the name.
No, but his brother was like globally famous. But he was just a good man, good DA. And he thought Clinton a rapist and voted for him, apparently, or didn't, and they couldn't talk to me again. I
There was a really good documentary I watched years ago about all of Bill Clinton's past issues. Wish I could remember the name of it.
It's all about trains. Remember? Hey,
that was the name of the doc?
No. Hey, how about the Soaked in Bleach? There's my documentary for you. You know?
That's the name of it?
Yeah, Soaked in Bleach. What's your takeaway from that? I signed it to Jill.
Oh, that's the Nirvana one?
Yeah.
Documentary thriller. I think I watched that at your house in Del Mar.
It's done by a LAPD homicide detective become private investigator hired by Courtney Love to discover, to check in on Keith, make sure he was okay.
Keith?
Is his name Kurt? Sorry, Kurt. Oh no, I got his name wrong.
Oh,
From Seattle, right?
Yes, you got the city. I don't know. From Seattle. That's a. No, Portland. It's not the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I sold my house in Portland to this fucking family that was fleeing shit from along the creek, and they bought it into this town. So sad. How cool was that house?
That house was amazing. Do they still live there? Do you ever look it up? Do they still don't live there?
I don't know. Probably 80.
At 8:18 a.m. on January 1st, Greg called Kurt Cobain Charlie Cobain and said he was from Seattle instead of Portland.
I call him Keith.
You should be making fun of someone who died, who's such a heavy contributor to the music scene.
I already feel bad.
It's very disrespectful.
I'm preparing my fuck off. So I'll come back next week with that.
Hey, so she hires this guy and it goes sideways, right? He ends up being like, yo,
everyone should interpret it for themselves.
Okay.
But you get to hear a lot of her own words. On tape. And her attorney. Damn.
I wonder what happened to her.
Nothing. It's great. She's a billionaire.
Oh, she is? She's still.
She's got the rights. Nirvana's hers.
Wow.
Crazy.
Were they married?
Yeah, huh? Yeah. You just watch the thing. You're not gonna scroll through Wikipedia and get shit. You gotta watch this thing and you judge for yourself. You get to hear her on tape.
He says, nope, the daughter has it. I read the book about Cobain. Weird that he had a bad childhood. No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny.
Uh,
Who would have thought that?
uh, who owns Nirvana? Right.
Is it the daughter?
It's owned by a number of parties. The widow of Kurt Cobain, Love is primary beneficiary of his estate and owns more than 98% of the band's publishing rights. Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit. She then went on to sell 25% of her share of Primary Wave Music Publishing.
How much?
The remaining rights of the, it doesn't say right here, the remaining rights to the band are owned by Nova Selic and Grohl. They each collect 12.5% of the royalties of the band songs. And this is just AI shit. I'm gonna put this on. It's real. Go to continue earning money after their death. The beneficiary was typically the estate or the entity dictated in the will. In 2015, Michael Jackson made $115 million in spite of being dead since 2009.
Yeah. The AI, the most sweeping and broad generalization of some philosophical point you could find. It's just a wild jump. Frustration in the AI response, and this was Google's AI, was, yeah, that's basically accurate. And I fucking died laughing. It was so good.
What was the question you asked?
I don't really want to share that. It's probably one of the parts of my own that might be funny.
Okay.
Keep everything tight-chested.
I like it.
I have to make something interesting talk about it fascinating. That might be my nerves. And you know what? I can tell by one thing alone, and that's the profundity of it, which is nothing short of its importance. You're the asshole out there.
Hey, your last business model was to sell personal accountability and responsibility. Who would have fucking thought you could make a killing doing that?
Yeah.
Something you already got.
Yeah,
So I got a point, I gotta remind you got it. The importance of it.
thanks. Yeah, life's good, man. Now I'm going to breakfast.
Alright, good. I'm going back to sleep.
Are you really?
Yeah, my eyes are burning. I have 30 minutes. My wife Haley just told me she's leaving the house at 9 a.m. So I have 30 minutes. It's just a power nap. You know what I mean? Go inside, I put an eye pillow on.
It's called re-racking.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's all healthy.
I just hear rack and I think boobs.
It's good. I like that.
All right, thank you. I'll be in touch with you within a few hours today.
I'll be nothing but here.
All right, dude, love you. Thanks for coming on. Bye. Damn. Greg single-handedly carried the show today. Holy shit. Can we call in? Yeah, no. Not a yes, but no. But yes. Jake Chapman, how come gay men can sit down and teach women how to give a BJ, but when I do it, I'm escorted to the security out of the care home? Excuse me. Take a few gummies. I only have, okay, later for sure. I only take creatine gummies. Okay. See you guys later. No, dude. Like my head's doing that wah 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 thing, so I haven't slept enough. Maybe we get Gracie Walton coming on the show soon. I don't know if that's tomorrow. No. Oh, you know who we have coming on tomorrow? Julian Alcaraz from Street Party. Can we get StreamYard set up with a bunch of shows? Oh, tomorrow's gonna be fun. I don't think I've ever had Julian on by himself. I drank too much last night and did a 32-minute workout today. I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do 5 rounds of Cindy as fast as I can, rest 3 minutes 3 times, and see what happens. You think I have? I had him on by himself before? I know I've had him and Miranda on. Oh, and I think Hunter and Hiller should probably be coming on soon too, together. And Taylor has a show Friday morning, and then Kill Taylor on Saturday. Yeah, better get all that lined up. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Thanks, Drake, for carrying the show this morning.
I ain't big shit.
What's up, everybody? I'll be bringing my Come Together tour to a bunch of more cities in 2025. January 18th, I'll be in Philadelphia. I haven't been there in a while. January 24th, San Francisco. The 25th of January, I'm in Reno. January 30th, I'm in Athens, Georgia. And January 31st, Savannah. February 1st, I'll be in North Charleston. I can't wait to hit all these cities. Get your tickets now. tomsquare.com/tour, and I will see you there.
Welcome to your mom's house.
Hello, and Happy New Year.
Good night, Mike.
It's 2025.
It's crazy.
What a exciting time. A new year. Can you believe it?
You know something?
What?
I kind of don't see it that. I don't know. I just think of it as one continuous life.
Are you taking the Jew broads off?
What do you think? Should I have them on?
I don't know. It's up to you. It's a real personal choice.
I don't know.
Wow, just like that. New year, no thanks.
No thanks. Jew Broad, Tom Hanks. I don't know. What do you have like resolutions? Are you gonna do anything differently?
No, you grow past that at a certain point.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's just the same shit, different toilet.
Yeah, but it's always, I do like the thing of like new year. Like let's reset and
Fresh.
and get going again.
And hit the deck, hit the ground running. Are these lights supposed to be on, guys? I think the two bears that. Does it matter?
Just the overheads are on. I don't know.
I think it affects, doesn't it?
I don't know. Good eye.
It's usually not on.
Wow. Good eye.
Oh.
Oh, we got a fucking cinematographer over here.
Hey, what's I gonna say?
What?
Can I tell you what I do? And this is very spiritually enlightened because I'm a very spiritually enlightened person.
Yeah.
I see every day.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool.
I feel like I do that. And that gives me new lease on life every day.
Yeah, sure.
I'm serious, and ever since I was in the cancer club and in the cancer club, every day you just gotta like, you don't know, you can't make plans.
It's true. I think
So, do you know anything about techno? No. Listen.
Thank you.